Hello, everyone. My name is Karen McDermott, and I am an author, publisher, and speaker. And I'm delighted to have been asked by World Leaders Summit to come and chat to you today about the world of publishing. Publishing is something I'm very passionate about. I fell into it accidentally after publishing my first book. It was a negative experience, but I happened to do some research and a bit of serendipity aligned, and a publishing distribution centre opened up in Australia, and I applied to become a publisher, and the rest is history. My studies are in humanities, so I'm all about the story and about how stories connect and can ignite and heal and make a real difference in the world. So if you have a story to share, I strongly encourage that when the call comes, that you take the steps towards bringing it to the world. So just for a few moments, I'm going to share with you how to get your story out onto paper. As humans, we make it way too complicated. We overthink it, we stop the flow, and we stop the good words coming out onto the page. And now I was not the best at English at school, but I had a passion to share a story that I believed would help others. So I answered the call, and during NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, that happens every November, I embarked on a journey for 30 days and wrote 1,667 words a day and had a 50,000 word novel. Now, the key component of making that happen is that I didn't overthink. I honored the process and I just let the story purge onto the page. So if you're writing a non-fiction book, what I highly recommend is that you spend some time on your contents page. Get the contents out. And in your book, make sure that you are sharing knowledge, sharing relatable experiences for each chapter, and having your reader with a takeaway. So they don't live through you, they actually take what you've taught them and apply it to their own lives. So once you have your actual chapters in place, your contents page, then you already have all of the information within you to get your first draft out. So don't overthink it. Get the words out on paper. What did you need to read 5 years ago, 10 years ago? That is what your readers needs to read. Write the book you needed to read. Don't worry about other people having the same types of books. Only you can write your book. So I always suggest that you write, if you have 20 chapters at 2,500 words each, that's 50,000 words. If you have 20 chapters at 1,500 words each, that's 30,000 words. Don't drag out words to just meet a word count. Deliver concise, deliberate, direct information to your reader and really connect with them by sharing stories and scenarios that you've experienced. Once you do that and honor that, that's the skeleton of your book. You can then go over it. I suggest taking a break and then go over it with a new set of eyes, like a reader, and add in some muscle, so that when writing your first draft is your skeleton. Add in the muscle, add in the information, add in the infographics, add in, things that you want your readers to read. What do they need to read? Be so connected with who that person is you're writing for, and you know what to put in that paper, and you don't overthink it. The key to it is not to overthink. So you've written your book, you've brought it to where you've done everything you can. Done your first draft, second draft, you've read over it, you've done what you can. What next? Well, it's time to get an editor. The best writers in the world still have editors. Editors couldn't write your book, but they will make your book shine, and no book should ever go out into the market unedited. So really, if you have an editor in your circle, fabulous. Fabulous. That's what you need to do, is get an editor to read your book, to make it shine, make it universally legible. I remember one of my editors said to me, "Goodness, Karen, you're so Irish." So I would write, not Irish Gaelic writing, I would write with an Irish temperament and have Irish sayings that would not be universally understood universally and globally. So whenever you go through the editing process, then there's a bit of toing and froing, there's a bit of investment that happens there. So I'm talking about hybrid publishing. So working with a publisher to get your best end product or to self-publish. Platform I use for as a basis and recommend for new authors is Ingram Spark. So you go to ingramspark.com or ingramspark.co.uk or ingramspark.com.au or wherever you are in the world, you go to Ingram Spark, set up your account. And there's so many resources there on how to get your book published. If you want to get represented by a publisher like me, who's been in the game for many years and who has built connections and can do things at a wider scale than Ingram can on a personal level, then you need to hook up for a publishing deal with someone like me. So that is where you submit your manuscript, you jump on a call, you make sure that you really have a synergy. And that was what's wrong with me with my first publishing experience. I wasn't ready. I wasn't brought on the journey. I didn't understand, and there was no knowledge given. So I felt very lost at sea. When you join a publisher like me, you go on the journey. We join you on the journey and we share the journey because I've been an author before I was a publisher. So if you want to publish your book, there's key things that you need to work on. An amazing book cover. Every book is judged by its cover. So have a cover that really connects with your market, and really, I always say, invest in a good cover designer who knows the market. And really then you can stand behind your book with confidence, and you are literally going to be standing behind your book, holding it for others to see. Secondly, the editing process. It's going to take a little bit of, it may be a bit daunting, but stick with it. All challenges are worth it in the publishing journey. You will be rewarded. Then you go to typeset, and that is where your book, your words start to come into book format. And then once typeset's done, you can get the final proofread, and then it will be off to print. Then you have a physical. Then marketing, promotions, all of those kinds of things, setting a release date, working towards that is all a big part of the publishing process. Don't let it overwhelm you. Enjoy the journey. Publishing a book is sharing a bit of yourself with the world. It is a legacy that you are leaving for future generations and for now, in this current period of time that's going to be researched very, very heavily in 100 years' time to understand what was happening during the pandemic. But so many people are showing up and sharing their knowledge with the world. So many people are showing up and reading more and accumulating more knowledge. So there's no better time for you to stand up and share your story and share your knowledge with the world than now. If it's a picture book, if it's a children's book, if it's a fictional novel, no matter what, a poetry book, whatever it is, it will all make a difference in the world. Books are a catalyst for conversation, a catalyst for change, and they are very important in everyone's lives. So let's come together, let's share our stories with the world, and it doesn't have to be rocket science. You can make the publishing journey as complicated or as free-flowing as possible, but once you show up and go through those steps, you will have a book to be proud of, that you can stand behind, and that you will be, and whenever you receive feedback about your book, you can stand proud knowing that you have put your all into it. So I hope that you learned something valuable through my short talk today. And you can find me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, at kmdbooks.com and at mnhpress.com. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy